I was just looking at this thing here, and it says it's a high-power amplifier. Anyway, it doesn't have the phono. It does have the bass boost on the front, and it does have the tone control on the front, which is nice. I don't know what year this came out. I believe this is 100 watts. I had a similar one, either 165 or 195. I'd have to look this up. I just watched a bunch of videos. The guy was talking about what they call vintage audio, but not from the silver face stereo era. I got kind of messing around with stuff today because I had this thing cranked, and it just is as much as you can turn this thing before you start having problems. And it started to get kind of smelly. So I think it's probably struggling. I love to run these CD changers. That is another topic that has come up, that CDs are coming back. Yes, I believe CDs are coming back. I think, I don't know if it's the new generation or my generation. I'm basically the generation that started with CDs. I got boxes of them over here, not a lot. I never really supported CDs because it would take up so much room. Never got into vinyl. I do have a record player, but I'd like to have another one over there, an Ion USB turntable. I was really big into cassette tapes when I was a kid because that was what was affordable and available. CDs were just too expensive. I mean, I could buy a tape for anywhere from $4 to $8 or $9, where CDs were all $15 a piece. So I never got into them when I was younger. Anyway, I started to buy them a little bit in the early 2000s, but I just kind of was mostly burning CDs. I wasn't really buying CDs, but in my opinion, MP3s and that kind of stuff is complete crap. It's compressed, it's garbage, it's shit. Okay? Well, you can put a lot of shit on one small piece of toilet paper. But what I do have here set up, and it's not fed into this right now, is I take, and there's the reason these are all back here, they're all ripped to a hard drive in here. And then I also have everything on a network server, but I like CDs. And think about it. I've got a couple of these. I've got, I think, a 200 disc, a 300, and a 400 disc changer. And if you look around, you can find them cheap. The belts are usually bad on them. You just replace the belt. This one has text on it, so sometimes if it's a newer CD, it will show me the text. But anyway, so a lot of the stuff from the 80s and 90s is going to become probably maybe a little more collectible. I'd rather it didn't, because you could still buy the stuff cheap. But I used to completely cringe from anything Sony. Sony has been around for a long time, but a lot of changes have happened over the years, and it's a very big company. They make a lot of different stuff, and some of it's good and some of it's not. But you just can't get an affordable, high-power Marantz that's in good condition. And this one here is in okay condition, but needs to be gone through. The capacitors are probably just crap. Or maybe I'm just expecting too much out of it. Anyway, some of these Sonys can sound really good and some of them don't. Earlier today I was running this thing, which is a Sherwood, but it's made for Best Buy under the Insignia name. And I've had a couple of these and they always sound really good, but this particular one is shutting down. I'm turning it up to about 33 and it shuts down. It just turns itself off. So, it just turns off. It doesn't really show me anything else. And unfortunately, it sounds good and it's nice, and it has phono section and all that, but I mean, how much time do I want to invest into trying to see what's wrong with this thing? I've got plenty of other ones. Trust me, I've got plenty of them. Some of these are quite good. I'm trying to remember if this one has problems. I tend to avoid the Technics because they can have a lot of issues, and a lot of times they're burned up. These ones here are annoying because the rotary encoders can be bad. I found one today at the thrift store that's exactly the same as one that I have sitting in my truck. And these knobs on some of them are weighted. And I guess that's why people steal them. This one here, I don't know. I don't remember. I overpaid for it. It was $34, yeah. It sounds good, but there was some reason I decided I didn't want to listen to it anymore. I've got two of these Sonys. These are the, let me move the air guns out of the way. STR-DB 930, and then I've got like a 10-something. And they're okay. And that's probably what I'll hook up next. But they're a home theater, and they're really not intended to be used otherwise. But they do have a phono section in them. See video 1, video 2, video 3, DVD, LD, TV, SAT, tape, MD, DAT, CD, tuner, phono. That's a full meal deal. And the front of them is metal. So they're actually pretty nice. You get the brushed metal. This one has the actual knob that stops. It's actually a motorized knob. I prefer that. I don't like encoders. I really don't like them. Down here, I've got Yamaha. It just, I don't know, it doesn't impress. It's a really expensive one. Had a broken denon over there. I think maybe there's some other crap over here somewhere. But apparently, if these guys make too many videos about this, they're going to drive the prices up. I'm trying to remember the guy's channel, who it was doing a video about it. Maybe it's over here. We can look it up really quick. Yeah, we got a live stream going. There's nobody watching it. Or tell Mike, okay. So, a lot of stuff's not really working for me on the channel anymore. The Skylabs, yeah, he has lots of videos on different stuff. And
okay, fine, Gary. Thank you very much for your help. 73 I've got a friend that was on here earlier with some
there's some of my videos in here. You go take a look at his.
First, and then I'll pick up the W3, but in the meantime, I'll rotate one of the antennas around because he's very light.
3 biggest reasons to go back to CDs again.
Your bandwidth, and if I look at the peaks and then I measure, if I measure 40 dB down on the band, then you start to spread out, but you're within 3 kc for the first 40 dB of amplitude. Then it starts to spread out, and
holy mullet.
normal, I don't think most
A balding mullet. Look at this dude. Who is this guy?
40 dB, but
Oh my god.
pretty normal.
Dude, just shave your head, man. Look at this.
Yeah, thank you, Dan.
I don't understand. Or wear a hat.
Signal as you spun the antenna, you were 10 over on the
It looks like that's it with that guy. But anyway, he's saying,
at the time you compared when they were
Skylabs. Vintage stereo systems. He
spun the one around
he did a video about,
S units and then back to 10 over, of course.
what you can call it. Let me see.
It's a good antenna. It has a good pattern. Okay, here I'm coming around towards
Older
the East Coast with the
stuff like what I have.
I'm trying to get up to where I can hear this guy.
Hmm.
Let me
underrated vintage stereos that you can get for cheap. And he's talking about these Onkyos. Like, I've had a lot of them. The TX840s. Well, they're at every Goodwill you go to, you'll see different ones. The Onkyos are usually, to me, they don't sound amazing, but they're never broken usually. Anyway.
You can get a better radio or have more feedback or something, but that's the way most radios are nowadays. Yeah, except for the ones that have that other and that other secondary feedback. I forgot what that's called. What is that?
Interesting.
I'm not sure what it is. I think I can do that on the...
Anyway, I haven't really watched too much stuff on his channel, but I do know he's got a big channel. And so if he sits there and tells people, oh, these are great, then all of a sudden people are going to start snatching them up on eBay. I have a hard time getting rid of any of these that I buy at the thrift store. Nobody wants to buy them. I know a lot about them, and I know which ones are good and which ones are not good. I know which ones are reliable and which ones are not. Almost any of the Sonys are going to work. Now, the Techniques and the TX, they're bad news. However, these usually do sound good. They did some weird thing where they use a Class A amplifier. That's the problem. So they burn out. Anyway. CD players. I don't know if they're coming back. I just got rid of a bunch. I literally just gave them away. I had a 1985 Pioneer CD player, one of the early ones. This is a different one. This is the Sony 5-disc. These are actually probably good to have because you could put 5 discs in here and you can listen to some music. I am just not, I'm not into streaming services or any of that other stuff. I'm not into MP3s. I will rip my music to the computer in a WAV file, usually. So, anyway, so that's kind of my opinion on this stuff. CDs are the best. I mean, and I don't listen to vinyl. I'm not interested in the pop and the hiss and all that crap.